In this video I will explain you a bit about open source CRM systems, and why you need to be careful about it. First of all, let's understand what is open source CRM system. Open source CRM is a software, in which the source code of the system is available to the public for use and or modification from its original design free of charge. The complete software is free of cost. You can copy the source code and do whatever you want. One key point to note here is that the software is available without any restriction on the number of users or the functionality that can be used. This obviously becomes an attractive proposition. You can just copy the code and use it. Unfortunately, there are many issues in this. Let's have a look at those. First of all, you will need to get your own server to install the software. Obviously, other aspects like server configuration, networking will also be your issue to manage. Installation of open source software is often complex, requiring Linux knowledge. Secondly, you will need to maintain the software yourself. This includes solving regular issues plus new developments if any. As such, you may need a full-time resource expert in that specific software. Next, there is no support if you need. Often the open source systems are developed by a community of hobby programmers, so there is no single person to ask for help. If downtime happens in the system, then it is entirely on your technical resource to solve the problem. If the problem is very complex, then you may spend hours and days without any resolution. Often, the open source software is developed by a community of programmers, so the code quality and standards may vary. As a result, these products often may have bugs and errors, those may need resolution. Lastly, if you factor in all the costs of server, resources required, technical issues, you will realize you might be spending actually more than a commercial paid product. Here are some of the key observations about open source CRM system. While implementing open source CRM, the key managers end up spending 25% of their time in implementation efforts over a period of 3 months. On an average, open source CRM system takes 18 days more to implement than commercial systems. Even after these efforts, open source CRM system will experience a downtime of about 5%, which is high for today's standards of highly available systems. And lastly, open source CRM systems actually do not save cost if you consider all the infrastructure expenditure and resources employed.